Welcome back to Hustle Chronicles. This is the story of James Cameron and how refusing to quit can change history. When people hear the name James Cameron, they think of Titanic, Avatar, record-breaking box offices, and breathtaking visuals. But what most people don't know is this. James Cameron didn't start with success. He started with rejection, failure, and an impossible dream. This is not a story about luck. This is a story about obsession, discipline, and refusing to give up. James Cameron was born in Canada in 1954. He wasn't born into Hollywood. He didn't have connections. He didn't have money. In fact, he studied physics, not filmmaking. But deep inside him was a burning curiosity about science, technology, storytelling, and the unknown. He loved science fiction. He loved exploration. And most of all, he loved imagining worlds that didn't yet exist. At one point, James Cameron was working as a truck driver. Yes, a truck driver. While others slept peacefully at night, he would drive long hours, exhausted, wondering if his dreams were foolish. But instead of quitting, he did something powerful. He learned filmmaking on his own. No film school, no mentors. Just books, practice, and relentless curiosity. One night, Cameron had a fever dream. In that dream, he saw a terrifying, robotic figure. Metal, unstoppable, sent from the future. He woke up and immediately started sketching. That dream would later become The Terminator. But turning a dream into reality was not easy. When James Cameron tried to sell his ideas, studios laughed. They told him, "You're too inexperienced. You're too ambitious. This can't be made." At one point, he was so desperate that he sold the rights to The Terminator for just $1. $1. Why? Because he believed that directing the film was more important than the money. That decision changed his life forever. When The Terminator released, it became a massive success. Suddenly, Hollywood noticed him. But success didn't make Cameron comfortable, it made him dangerous. Because James Cameron didn't want to follow trends. He wanted to push limits. He was known on sets as intense, demanding, obsessive. People said he was too difficult. But Cameron had one rule. If it hasn't been done before, that's exactly why I want to do it. Then came Titanic. Everyone told him it would fail. The budget was enormous. The technology was risky. The shoot was chaotic. The media called it James Cameron's $200 million disaster. Actors doubted it. Crew members quit. Studios panicked. At one point, Cameron himself considered walking away. But he didn't. He doubled down. He personally learned deep sea diving. He obsessed over historical accuracy. He rewrote scenes again and again. When Titanic released, it didn't just succeed. It became one of the greatest films in history. 11 Academy Awards, the highest-grossing movie of all time, for years. The same people who mocked him now called him a genius. But Cameron still wasn't done. Most people after Titanic would relax. James Cameron disappeared. For years, people thought he retired. But the truth was, he was preparing for something bigger. He wanted to create a world that felt alive, a world where technology and emotion merged. That world became Avatar. The technology to make it didn't even exist. So Cameron helped invent it. Motion capture, 3D filmmaking, virtual cameras. Again, studios said no. Again, critics doubted him. And again, he proved them wrong. Avatar became the highest-grossing film of all time, not once, but twice. Here's a lesson from James Cameron's life. He wasn't the smartest, he wasn't the richest, he wasn't the most connected, but he was obsessed with mastery. He learned what he needed. He waited when others rushed. He worked when others quit. James Cameron once said, "If you set your goals ridiculously high and fail, you will fail above everyone else's success." That mindset is everything. If you're struggling right now, if people doubt you, if your dream feels too big, remember this. James Cameron went from truck driver to legend, not by luck, not by shortcuts, but by believing that limitations are just problems waiting to be solved. Your situation does not define your future. Your persistence does. Dream bigger, work harder, and refuse to quit, because the world doesn't remember those who play it safe. It remembers those who change what's possible. If this story inspired you, subscribe to Hustle Chronicles for more real journeys of greatness. Stay hungry, stay focused, and keep hustling.